with chess number 12, and we'll be talking for the notion of feminism, negative impact over positive.
Good evening, respected jury. Good evening, respected opponents and respected audience. We are chess number 1 and our topic is feminism, negative impact over positive, and we are against it.
Respected members of the jury, my worthy opponents, and all of you gathered here. Today, as I open my views, I present my opinions on going against the notion of feminism having a more negative impact over a positive impact. I would like to begin with the very wise words that Voltaire wrote in his book. He said, "To know who rules over you, simply find out who you are not allowed to criticize." The entire concept of feminism in today's world has promoted a lot of goodness, a lot of opportunities, and a lot of social endeavors for women in the society today. But how? To which extent? How well are we taking it for granted in today's society? How much increase of promiscuity in the women arena are we seeing in today's time? Especially given the fact that today's time we have a lack of metric in the social arena for equality. On what grounds are we able to determine that a so-called substance or a so-called metric system does well for feminism or does well for patriarchy? And having said that, the consequences of feminism today, although a lot has been positive, that there have been a myriad of negative impacts as well. When I go into detail, I'd like to mention a few issues like gendering of issues, especially when these notions of feminism have been utilized appropriately at times, but inappropriately against patriarchy as an opposition to men's rights and issues. And moreover, their stronghold in today's society has been utilized for bad empowerment as well. And having said that, the generalization of gender issues has created a forum wherein we do prefer empowering the women in our society because it's very much needed. But are we developing it into a society today which is taking it for granted?
As Priyanka Chopra rightly said, every time a woman stands up for herself without even knowing is it even possible, she stands up for all the women. The feminist movement has affected the change in the society, including women's suffrage, gender access to education, equal pay to men, the right to divorce proceeding, the right to women to make individual decisions regarding pregnancy, right to own property, etc. The best example for feminist movement is the New Zealand cricket team having equal pay for women and men's cricket team. The BCCI has announced that there will be a proper IPL, which means equal number of games for women's IPL too. The best example of feminism in our country is definitely Sudha Murthy and Deepika Padukone.
As my opponent just said in his opening speech, that a lot has been positive in during feminism. So you right away there you accepted that it has a positive impact over negative. You accepted it in your opening speeches as well. Men's rights are never hampered. Now I would just like to say that if gender issues were there before, now it hurts the men because they are getting the taste of their own medicine. Only the women are now speaking for themselves. That makes them, so that hurts the egos of the men. That's what you said in your opening speech. Is that a right thing? Education accessibility has been increased. Higher wages have been given, as my fellow teammate has said. This may lead to more tolerant society. Now if suppose
Just to clear out the air on that one, the notion clearly says feminism having a negative impact over a positive impact. We never insinuated that it didn't have a positive impact in the first place. And secondly, to counter something that your worthy teammate actually mentioned, the BCCI did announce an IPL for women. However, the captain of the vice captain of the Indian cricket team, Smriti Mandhana, herself said in an interview that women's cricket will never have the same equal amount of pay because the viewership, the brand deals, and the sponsorships that women's cricket get are far less than men's cricket. And that is why, from a very personal point of view, when women cricketers are actually portraying that the whole concept of equal pay makes sense. But when a woman cricketer is able to accept the causes of
The
differences,
point here is not about women cricket team, and if I want to say, men cricket team was promoted from a long time. Women cricket team are given the encouragement now, so in future they will rise more. But they are rising. They are given the chance because they raise their voice. They are showcasing the talent. They are given the opportunity to showcase their talent. That's why they are getting promoted now and then. That's why BCCI has announced a proper IPL for women in March 2023, according to the facts. So this shows that feminism has a greater positive impact rather than negative. And it is in favor of Smriti Mandana, as she said in her speech. And the next thing I want to say is that they can raise their voices against injustice done against them. Don't they? Nowadays, the unhappy marriages can't be tolerated because everything used to be.
See, we are not at all denying that feminism hadn't had a positive impact on women. We are clearly saying that women did have a positive impact of feminism over the years. But we are simply stating that the impact that right now it is happening, the negative impact is more. The graph is going way beyond than what it should. Just like the example of hashtag #MeToo. You could see that several men were targeted just because a woman just because they were men, and a lot of male bashing has happened after that moment itself. We are not at all saying that we should be limiting the power of women. To limit the power of a woman is to ask a lion to become like a cat.
just adding to that, just because you mentioned the concept of sports, the two most
Okay, I would like to conclude my argument by just quoting Miss.
Respected judges, my dear worthy opponents, and all my dear audience. We are not at all saying that feminism had never had had a positive impact over women. We are clearly saying that feminism really had a positive impact throughout the years. But we are simply stating that the negative impacts that has happened throughout after the Me Too movement has been increased exponentially. The number of fake claims have increased exponentially. We have all seen WhatsApp forwards of many women utilizing this abuse of power that has happened throughout these years. As I said earlier in my rebuttal, that to limit the power of women is to ask a lion to become a cat. See, bad feminism doesn't only impact women, but it also not only impacts men, but it also impacts women's real struggle towards getting that proper empowerment. Modern feminism has veered from gender equality into a cult of outrage that belittles men. We are simply not at all saying that removal of we should not suppress women. We are simply saying that remove the systematic universal devaluing
I would
of
like to
women
conclude
and
my
women's-
argument by just saying that the women can raise their voices and ask for their rights and deliver against the injustice against them. And the biggest example is Me Too. According to statistics, more than 85% of women have raised their voices and they have faced justice. And a lot has, and men's rights are never hampered. Men's rights are always kept on place. Women's rights are as well. But only this time, women have stood up for themselves, and that's the reason why women are free today. They are liberal today, and they can make more progress in their corporate field, in any field they want. They have a better corporate career. They have better corporate career. The biggest example is the Shark Tank. They have in the 7 sharks, 3 are women, which encourages more people to come and more women to rise and more women to speak against for yourselves and attain your goals.
Thank you, audience. Thank you, judges. Thank you, opponents.